Hake, your beta back wouldn't get through one shift, says Gary A. I would get through a union shift. Give me a break. I'm reading the chat here. Let me, the world. I'm reading the chat over here. Misfit Nation asks this question. Do you think union... What's up, Misfit Nation? That's, he's been on... one of their main hosts... One of their hosts has been on the Hake Report a couple of times. Do you think unions were rendered useless once labor laws were passed? Yeah, maybe that's part of the problem. All these micromanaging, meddling labor laws from the federal government is sick. Oh, rendered useless once labor laws were passed. Oh, and I'm against the labor laws, so unions are... I dislike all of those things. I dislike all of those things. I get that maybe there's some wrong done by these companies. There may be a better way. Maybe a big part of it, I think, is because these are systems and setups. And the setup may or may not be logical, sensible. You know how the Constitution was supposedly a brilliant setup for the government. Maybe it was. I think in some ways it had like checks and balances and things. I think that this was communism, and communism is lies and victimhood and mama's spirit. And for example, child labor laws. Make children work again, says Bobby Blanco. Exactly. I worked as a kid. I worked on the roof. I worked on the siding of the house. I got itchy from handling, which I didn't know that I wasn't supposed to. The, what's that stuff, that pink stuff that's inside between walls? Insulation, which is fiberglass. And my cousin stepped on a nail, a rusty nail. I don't know if it was rusty. He was like, oh no, I'm gonna have to get a tetanus shot. We worked during the summertime, you know? Maybe not during the school year. Better to have a union than no union. I don't like them either. Necessary evil, question mark. I don't know. I think that we might be brainwashed, a lot of us. For or against. Maybe I have to have somebody who knows stuff to talk about it or read about it or something. But I've always been biased against them. Teachers' unions support Democrats in California, and teachers, some of them are conservative, and then their forced union dues have to go to support Democrats. It's ridiculous. And teachers' unions aren't for anything good. They're run by like lesbians and all kinds of evil things. Evil people. I mean, blind brainwashed people who aren't for what's right. Our union is corrupt and unchristian-y, says Greenwall. Indeed. But the people are corrupt. And I think this encourages the corruption of the people and incompetence and laziness and triflingness and complaining and spoiling. I was in a union. Unions are trash, says, come on, man. Quite interesting. Hondo says, JLP was a union recruiter and he disavows the unions. Yeah, and he pointed out, that's where I learned that. They target, and I've heard it from more than one source, they target the angry people. The angry people. Most often the blacks. Or the women. Women aren't supposed to be working so much in some of this stuff, and then what do they do but try to get out of work? Randy Weingarten, the perfect union gal. She's the one who's like not a Christian, and it's a woman. And she's also not a normal white, and also she's like lesbian or something. If you're biased against unions, then you've never worked a federal occupation. Not all people in the unions are corrupt. I'm not saying all the people in the unions are corrupt, definitely. I'm just saying unions, the whole setup might be misguided. There might be some truth. Of course, there's always truth to some of the complaints, but the whole spirit is evil. Of the people are evil. And so I think, I don't know, it's a mess. I was in the carpenters union, says Kevin. They still send me stuff about negotiations and pensions. It's been like 8 years. Well, thank you guys. Thank you, chat people. Overtaxed Minnesota says unions are communist. Yeah. Here's this one. MLK was for the unions. Boom! Get that stuff out of here. It doesn't belong in America. Communism confirmed. But anyway, guys, shout out to you all.